corrections and new inserts to add to the Master Declaration. Let me get my windows up so it's not so black if anyone comes by. Okay. It's easier to do it this way. Well, I've never done it this way yet, but because when I try to talk, it's kind of hot. So when I try to talk, to do the dictation, the AI will keep interrupting. So then I have to talk at a fast pace before they get that moment of silence, and then they'll like interrupt. And I'm like, dude, come on, like, and I'll even ask them, like, you know, chill out a little bit, bro. You know, don't like interrupt so much. I almost feel like going the back way because it's longer and it's more scenic. But ouch. But it feels weird. I'm not in a hurry to get home, but maybe I am. I don't know. It sucks though. It sucks. Well, for me, maybe not you, but for me, being alone sucks. Okay, so I'm gonna act like I'm starting now. Okay. Corrections and additions to my Master Declaration. My Master Declaration. When I lost my son, Christian Segovia Sr., I lost his whole family. My son was a father to 3 small boys, and he was only 23 years old. He worked through all of COVID. He was an essential worker. My son had bad asthma since he was born, probably. And he did not catch COVID while he was working, but he did catch COVID when his fiance had their baby. Their baby was born, baby Ragnar Segovia. Ragnar was born December 20th, 2020. I love numbers like that. When I lived in Barstow, I'm in Barstow right now, actually. When I lived in Barstow, my number was 256-2020. And that was, oh my Lord, that was a long time ago. My oldest daughter, Tabitha, she is going to be 35, and Tabby was like 3 years old. A little bit of time ago. I just opened up a purchase studio there, so I didn't stay super long. I just wanted to check out Barstow. I still had my room in Apple Valley. So I moved, but not really. I still had my main home. I did that a lot throughout when Tabby was growing up. I lived in the beaches, just like when up until when my son passed away. Apple Valley is my primary home, but that's when I started when I was first talking to Arthur, and he lived on Belmont Shores, right on the beach. It's kind of cool. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my God, I'm doing this. I'm supposed to talk. Shit. I guess I start over. Beep, start over. How am I gonna know when to start over? I'm gonna put a green thing up. If there's a writing on it, okay. So I can find it. Oh my lights on. Turn my engine off. Okay. Gosh, I want to make battery die. Okay, a real quick recap. Start over again. Corrections and add-on to my Master Declaration of Kimberly Ross Segovia. When I lost my son Christian, I lost his entire family. Christian was only 23 years old. He passed away while home alone with his three sons, ages 3 months, 4 years old, and 2 years old. His fiancée Jasmine was working, and Christian called me that morning too, and he just told me he wasn't feeling good. And Jasmine was home, and Bella was home. Everybody was home. I hadn't been home for a while. I was like living away in Belmont Shores by the beach. And Christian and Jasmine were they were 23 years old, and they started to grow up more. You could just see the change in them. They were like that comfortable old couple. When they first got together, they were very, very young, immature, still in high school, but like just raging emotions and hormones, but they were coming in their own. And I still always have my room, but I was kind of turning it over to them, like let Christian be the man of the house and Jasmine like the woman of the house, because they have boys. They have their 3 children, and I think that parental role and the responsibility is very necessary. And I raise my children, so as a grandma, step back and be there when needed and love the babies, give advice but not demand it. Like, don't, and I never come at them harshly, but I do feel it's my job. If I am concerned about something, I will speak my mind, but with respect, because whatever they do with it, it's just coming from me what I think. And it doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. Okay, so when I lost my son, I lost his whole family, and it's something there's no words to express. You can't not ever get over that. He has 2 surviving boys. Christian passed away the day after Easter. He was home alone with his 3 boys. When my daughter came home and found them, he had baby Ragnar, 3-month-old, laying on his chest, and his 2 sons, Christian and Logan. I never even say their names. I haven't even grieved them yet, but that's the first time I said their names in years. But he had Christian and Logan. Oh, I don't want to talk about him. Okay. Laying beside him, each side of them, and they're like watching their cartoons. There was a sandwich made and a top ramen that was the last thing my son ate, and that was the last day he took his breath. Then, but the way I found out about my son passing, it was just all sad and wrong. I was at the beach at the Belmont Shores, and I got the call from one of Jasmine's cousins, and I was in shock, of course, because she's only 23. He's 6'4", 23. He was like a big high school football player. He broke both his ankles at practice, and he manned it up. He worked through COVID. He's just a good boy. Anyways, I digress. Okay. Oh, and my son Christian's name is Christian Segovia Sr. Correction, it is not Christian Andrew. Christian Segovia Sr. Andrew Segovia is my nephew, and he was like a son to me. I had many children that I took in. I was like, just who just needed home. they needed just a family, a love, a mom, support. You know, there's a lot of people throw the way out teenagers, it seems like to me, more than anyone else. So, you know, I never was like this wealthy person, but I always had a way. I was wealthy in resources. So Christian Segovia Sr., his name. And Andrew Segovia, he was on his second Marine tour. He was stationed in South Carolina. And when he found out about Christian's passing, Andrew's a father to 2 little boys. He grew up in Oregon. Andrew was like my daughter's age. She's like maybe like 35. He was going to come back home to just to be with us after Christian passed away. And while driving out to us, like April 8th, on his way out here, he was involved in a head-on car crash and he died instantly. Andrew was a good man. He was the only child to his mother and stepfather, who were no longer married, but he was the only child. And that was a big loss, especially for his 2 boys who remained in Oregon after he and his beautiful wife divorced. She was a beautiful, she still is beautiful girl. So that was a correction. It's Christian Segovia Sr., not Christian Andrew. And Andrew Segovia is a nephew that's a Marine that was killed on his drive back home here. He's stationed in South Carolina. Okay, then after my son passed away, April, it was a Monday right after Easter. Monday, April 5th, 2021, I drank a bottle of Captain Morgan, and I don't remember what happened. Then I had some repressed memories come back. Not of Christian, though. It was of my childhood. And it involved my dad being very inappropriate with me. And what it was is repressed memories of years of being abused by my father. You know, the person who's supposed to love you and protect you and teach you and guide you and nurture you. What he taught me, and this is what I conveyed to him when I called him the next day after my son died, April 6, 2021, I blamed him for my son's death. I'm like, you know, I told him, you raised me to accept the unacceptable, to take the abuser's abuse, hold his secrets, protect him, and be silent. And keep that silence with you forever. And the effects that has on a child, it happened at a time where I was too young to even know what was happening, to even yet alone desire it or enjoy it, which in later years, that's what he hinted at. And that's common. That's so common with abusers. They will say, oh, the child wanted it, like the child's coming on to them. children don't come on to adults like that. Whenever I hear that, I know that's an abuser. And they're a little bit delusional. 'Cause children are children. Children are children. And children are children. Children are born innocent and perfect. Unless there's something, you know, I'm talking about just average children. Clean slate. We get conditioned, you know, by environment, by our parents, by just their influences, even by media, by celebrities. You know, a lot of things influence us. Community, culture, religion, race. It all kind of plays mold. So we're kind of conditioned, because you have to follow the rules, you have to follow the laws. We're a societal community. So, you know, we cannot just do what we want to do. We have to be accountable. We have to, you know, blend in and have a decent society. And other stuff where you get like people, like elitist people, or who just want to, that goes into politics. I'm just talking about just a normal person, a normal baby. Children are perfect. It's the adults who want them to have their minds be like little adults. Like, they think like a child can understand like an adult. Adults, we experience life every day. Every day is a part of our choices. You know, everything that happens to us, it's our choice. You know, we made a choice. We may not have made an informed choice. And that's where abuse steps in, and it distorts that. It disturbs your view of the world, and it's not a good thing. Knowledge, children should have knowledge, not safety of being offended. I'm not into this politically correct. Not when it comes to something like this with children. Children should not be left naive and innocent and ignorant and stupid when it comes to such a serious situation. You don't think they're ready for it? Whatever parents and adults don't want to teach our children, because what, it might offend them. The only thing that silence protects, it's not the abuser, it's not the victims, it's not the kids. It's the abusers. If you don't talk about it, it's a taboo subject. Nobody wants to talk about that kind of abuse to a child. I can't even say the words, I can't even spell it anymore. I bet you pretty soon they're not going to have acronyms for them. But if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. Because if I say anything, it'll get my video scrapped, and I don't want that kind of, AI is pretty smart. I don't want that kind of radar on my channel. Because I've lost a channel before. And it was a big channel too. Oh my god, it was doing so good. And it's sad to lose a channel and you lose like the following you have, because it's kind of neat when it builds. And I had a lot of regulars too. But yeah, I got banned. So, yeah. So, I'm not going to talk anymore about that either. Don't want to lose this channel too. But my other channel had, well, actually I have 3. My first channel was when I had my normal life, when I was me. And I had my babies in my life. My children and grandchildren. They all lived with me. It was fucking beautiful. That's the normal me. And that channel was, or is, hopefully it's there. If you get a chance, you can watch it. Please. Because I don't have the password to, oh my god, I'm supposed to be talking to dictating. Oh my god. But I don't have the password to my, I don't have the password to that email, I don't have the password. I lost 2,000 pictures of my son. Any video, everything I had of baby Ragnar. I don't have not one. But that channel has some. It preserves some. My phone broke, and I had so much stuff in the cloud that it didn't go to the cloud. It stuck on the phone. So, and I don't even know where that phone's at. I'm sure I do know, but I don't know. But that everything stuck in that phone when it broke. Took it to a service to get it fixed, and the gentleman fixed it, but somehow the password to get in the phone was changed, so my password didn't work anymore, so I couldn't get into it. You only have so many tries before they factory reset it, and I only had one chance left. So it's still, if I do that one chance, and it's a phone, it's a good phone too, but it's perfectly fine to use, but that one try will block everything out. I'll go to factory reset and I'll lose everything. So I can't lose that channel. So if anybody ever wants to watch it, if you watch it, just let me know. I would be so happy. Just say, hey, I watched it. It's called Segovia. S as in Sally, E, G as in girl, O, V as in Victor, I-A. Segovia dot, you know, the period dot, Segovia dot family, Segovia family, Segovia dot family life, Segovia family life. Sing it, Segovia family life. Segovia dot family life. And the one I got barred was Kimberly's. I'm not gonna say it's barred, so it's not there anyways. That one was, that was a fun, because that's, well, they're all fun. This one, I'm like, you know, I'm kind of like down and out, but not really. I'm still me. I hope I pushed pause on this. Sorry, Google, if I didn't. My videos are getting longer. Okay, I want to do this real quickly. Oh, let's go real quickly. Okay, because I only did 2. Okay. Well, after Christian passed away, then I spoke to my parents about being abused by my father for years, and that basically conditioned me, and it molded me into being a perfect victim. Just take the abuse, keep quiet, and it set me up for, I'm very empathic, and I'm very caring and forgiving, and I don't like conflicts, and I'm usually like fun, and I forgive easily. I don't see bad in people. I don't carry anger. And it sounds like good qualities, but they're very dangerous qualities to have. Very dangerous. I married a murderer. In his teenage years, he was with friends, road rage with this guy. He was a record store manager, 23 years old. Just got off work. And they had a road rage incident with teenage stupid boys, probably drinking, I'm sure. So they pull over, beat the guy up, shoot him, steal his car, leave him for dead in the desert, and show up at a party, high school party, wanting to sell his car for money for drugs and alcohol. And they were bragging about the murder. That's what I married. And the whole time, I don't like making people feel bad. So, like if someone's lying to me, I think, well, there's a reason why they're lying to me. And I don't need to know the reason, just respect them for whatever it is. That was like, I was so team yay, people. And now I'm not jaded, but I'm not as naive. But I'm sure there's a lot of aspects about me that could be. But at least my eyes open, because it doesn't naturally come to me. Because I still have the same qualities. It's just naturally. That's why when it's toxic people, I don't fuck with them, period. Because my heart can go empathetic for someone real quick if I know they're in a hard way. Never for me though. Like everything that's happened to me, I would be I don't, I don't, I could feel for someone else's problems when they're way less than mine, for sure. Like, I don't have water. I don't have water for over a month. I didn't have electricity for a while, and it's fucking hot. It's hot right now. Okay, let me finish this. Back to my thing. Okay, so I confronted my parents, and it wasn't a very good conversation. My dad actually said nothing. I just, you're the reason why my son died, and you cursed me to this type of life, to marry a murderer. I stayed married for 22 years, not because I wanted to. I had 5 kids, 4 of them with him, and he would take my kids from me. I'd be pregnant, locked out in the rain all night, crying while my babies are inside. And I was never crying for me. It's for my baby, that feeling of having your baby ripped from you. And it turns out that I'm an 8th generation of the Indian boarding school genocide, culture, conformity. My mom was a victim of the Indian boarding school, the residential schools. If you've never heard about it, I've never had either until my grandsons were taken. You should check into it. It's some history that would explain a lot. If you know someone, or if you're Native American, if you're Indian, learn their history, because our parents were Indian people were, especially the older ones, they're stoic, they're humble, and they don't complain. At least, like, not publicly, openly. Very respectful, very dignified. Indians do drink, though. Every Indian family member I have all died from alcoholism. All of them. All of them. But when you think about the history, every single child, and this is the United States government and the Canadian government. I don't know if it's just the same things happen. I don't know if they're working together, or it just, hey, this works for this country's doing it. It looks pretty cool. Let's do it here. General Pratt was the one who came up and said, hey, I know how to handle this Indian problem we have. His thing was, save the child, kill the Indian. And the child is Indian, so needless to say, there was a lot of rape, a lot of bad stuff to children. They had their own cemeteries, the school, but their own cemeteries. They would take the kids as young as like 2 years old, 3 years old, and keep them till they're 18. And this is every single Indian child. So you would have communities, the thought of it, communities of no children. No children. Kids not growing up with their parents. Kids, they're not allowed to speak their language, have their hair long, they can't use their language, their spirituality, culturals. It's a lot of our history. I just can imagine what's lost, because what's written down, it's said verbally, like what you learn from your grandpas, your grandmas. But this purposely split up families, took children out of their community, punishing them for being what they are. And these people were not nice. There was not enough people to take care of the children. When you just look it up, you could see like hundreds of children, and they move them far from their home, their native home. So, and everyone knows, they're like, they have bounty hunters. They had children hunters. Anyone who tried to break out of the schools, they'd send them to other states. So how the hell can a kid, and when you look Indian, and it's just, they put them in the boarding schools. And it's so easily for our culture, for anybody to get victimized like that and singled out, and it become normal. And look at, and then it just gets erased. Like no one talks about it. I'm Indian. I'm half blood. My mom's a full blood. I didn't know, and my mom still doesn't tell me to this day. But if you know an Indian person, anybody's Indian, I never knew this. Why? Whenever anyone knocked at the door, me and my brothers would run to our room and hide in the closet. And so to this day, I'm 54. I cringe when anyone knocks at the door because it's such a a desperate thing to run, and you hide. And I raise my kids like this. That's what intergenerational trauma does. It's the stuff that you learn, and that's how you learn how to be a parent. You learn from what your parents do. And so like you can have like the intergenerational trauma and what's that, the epigenetics. It gets passed down through the generations. So like if someone was never raped, they could have trauma of rape. I don't even know if I could say that word, but they can have trauma of that action. Because if it happened to their mother or grandmother, that fear and that the reaction and everything will get passed on to her children. That's why it's important, pregnant women should always have good thoughts, happy thoughts. And this is what my mom told me. My mom only got a 6th grade education, and it's in this boarding school. The boarding school, basically, it worked the children to the bone. There's no nurturing, no loving. It was horrendous, horrific, everything. And the way they fed them was crap. That's how, like, if someone asks, like, oh, what's your native food? I don't know. I don't know, I don't know what tribe started fry bread, but the Indian taco, we used to sell that, Indian tacos. Well, there's the Navajo taco and the Apache taco. Where are the Apache ones? And people would be like, what is it? Because my family always, we sold all the time. And I would be like, it's like a tostada, but they call it tacos. I don't know why they call it tacos. It's like a tostada, but with fry bread. Okay. The boarding schools. Okay. This is going to take too long. Okay. So, my son died April 5th, 2021, the day after Easter. He's a good boy. 6'4". He's 23. He's beautiful, long eyelashes, beautiful eyes, his voice. He was charismatic. He's, the neatest thing, he was everybody's best friend. And I seen it with my eyes. He's the kind of guy, like, even me, the mom, you just feel like special. You're seen and you're heard. And that's freaking rare. It's a rare quality, and it's really sad because that's just one of our basic needs, to be validated, to be seen and heard. We don't have to be have everyone agree with us and be right and all of that. But just to be okay to be us. Okay. So, I talked to my parents after drinking some Captain Morgan, and they didn't respond very well. My mom very angrily is like, that happened a long time ago. Just let it go. That happened a long time ago. Just let it go. Get over it. It's like, that's like really the last thing she's kind of really said to me. I lost my parents the day after my son died. Literally, I lost my parents. It was by choice. I'm very slow at processing, and my dad was my best friend. And especially with this, he's doing the eviction. I'm facing eviction now just because it's coercive control. My dad may have never loved me. And when I think about the history, it's really just awful. I could probably do this and drive. I think I'm going to do that. Because I'm hot. Hot child in the city. Oh, I can't. I have my glasses on now. It's hotter than a mofo here in Barstow. But, one thing with all this trauma, it's made me hella resilient. and being as poor as I am, hella resourceful. And as forgotten as I am and dismissed and left like alone and isolated and not being significant person in anybody's life, it's left me very grateful, very humble, and appreciative, really. And it's not that I wasn't like any of those before, but this is being that way and understanding why. Because you can't appreciate the warmth until you've experienced like freezing. Same thing with the vice versa. So with me, oh my god, my favorite time to eat is when I'm hungry. Food tastes so much better. So much better. Okay, so let me get back to my, oh my god, I'm probably gonna never, shit, well, I have a drive home and I need to make these corrections someday, so, oh shit, I made a big boy. Why do I turn? Okay, so, oh my god, these cars, I'm all getting upset and I'm the one who's out here too big. Oh shit, god, I have depth perception and I want to just get out of here. My god, these cars are gonna just keep coming. My depth perception, I can't. Okay, good, they're letting me out. Oh god. My first gear kind of, it goes, it's temperamental. I stalled yesterday on it, and not that I'm like this bitchin' ass, you know. Oh, I keep sticking to the subject. Spoke to the parents, not a good outcome, and 2 days after my son passed away, I was placed in a 5150 hold. And it was actually a combination of things. The night before, I drank a whole, I don't know if they're called a pint or something. I drank a whole bottle of Captain Morgan. And I got drunk one night. The next night I drank it, that's when I talked to my parents that day. I didn't get drunk at all. Nothing. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like, I drank this whole bottle and nothing. It was like a phenomenon to me. And, you know, I'm going through it. I'm just going through it. And so, day 2 after my son passed away, I get another Captain Morgan because alcohol was like, it was pretty cool. It like helped me, just helped me not be present. And that night, when I got the other one, the alcohol, one drink, no lie, I was shit-faced drunk, instantly drunk. I've never heard of that phenomenon. I never looked into it either, but it sure as hell happened to me. And that was another phenomenon. Like, what the hell? I don't know. Like, if you could, I don't know. Who knows? But I disassociate, apparently. I didn't know at the time. I'd learn more about myself. And, you know, you learn through experience and analyzing it. That's why I started with these. No, I started with making these videos because for my kids. But then I'm learning so much about me, and I'm alone a lot, way too much. And women, when we express our woman's way of relieving stress. So it's healthy. You know, we're community creatures. You know, where it's not normal to be isolated and alone. It's not. And that's why I'm like probably not, I'm not healing so quickly. And why I'm stuck in this kind of limbo, I guess. I guess I'm not going to Barstow. I mean, not Barstow, the Walmart. Well, that's cool. Because I'm gonna make it to my daughter's at a reasonable hour. Okay, so I have to call her and get her address and let her know I'm coming. So this is gonna be done. Back on. Okay, so right, and I said basically the 7th of April I was in a 5150 Colt, and that son of a gun, my ex-husband, now ex-husband, he at that time I kicked him out in 2019. I suffered 22 years of horrific abuse. All bad abuse. The dude he spent 15 years in prison in high security. You know, he was a murderer, and on top of it he had ties with the Mexican mafia. He wasn't a very stand-up guy, but you would never know it. He presents very well, but that's part of his that's part of his I don't know what it is. If he could use whatever he has for good and for something productive, oh man, there would be nothing that could stop him. Communication skills are very, very important. If you have good communication skills, that'll get you far. It would get you so far. It would get you in the door. Why is my stupid thing on? It just gets your foot in the door. Your communication skills. There's nothing that we can't learn, you know, or some things. I would think that there's some things who wants to learn if you're not drawn to it, you know. Anyways, but communication skills, and that's one thing he. I don't know if he's a charmer, but maybe he and his brothers, they're very slick with their tongue. To where me, when it was happening back then, I was very emotional. I was upset. I was hurt. I was angry. You know, after like getting abused, like if the abuse is it's just unpredictable. So something will happen and it'll cause a rage, and another day it won't. Mostly what causes rages that got real physical, where my face was rearranged, is if I had a difference of opinion, or if I just didn't agree, or if I had a thought that was different, or didn't agree, or didn't back them. And it's outside of it. When I was in it, I had no idea I was in it. I was so brainwashed, and just in survival skills, I bet, because fucking maddening. And then I had my babies, and my mom talked bad about my dad growing up after he left. Like, he never loved you, he never, you know, like all this stuff. Never good stuff too. It's like, yo, yeah, tell a kid that their parent never loved them. And that's things, you know, what we do with kids, it should, you know, benefit them, even if it's something that's not fun. Like, you know, having boundaries, or, you know, punishing them for doing bad. In the end, it's acts of love, you know, because we don't want to raise little hoodlums and, you know, unhealthy kids with cavities and, you know, just whatever. They can't drink, you know, when they're 10. So, you know, being a parent, that's just part of being a parent. but it's for their benefit. It's not out of laziness or like to stroke someone's ego, like their parent. You know, it was abusive of me to have my kids in that abusive upraising. And I thought the abuse was just me. But, you know, live and learn. That's not really the right way to say it, but when you know better, you do better. And I was clueless. And I just have love for me, and I don't really revisit that part of my past. I guess I'm an avoider. I'd rather not. Why? I'd rather not. Nothing good. Well, no, everything good comes from something, so I can't say nothing good comes from it. You know, it could have been worse, for one. I'm grateful. Could have been worse. But it was pretty bad. But it could have been worse. I was never sex trafficked. Thank God. Oh my God. Okay, I opened the 5150 hold. And I was just out of the, just cruelty. Because my ex-husband, my son was very, very popular, so it was an amazing show out. But he had the candlelight visual while knowing that me, the mother of the person they're honoring, is in a 5150 hold. It's just a little distasteful. And the candlelight visual is at my house. So, and keeping, it's a big thing to not be a part of, to not witness. I had nothing, no, I had nothing. I didn't, on movies, you know, people come and they just have their condolences, they bring dishes or visit or calls. I didn't have no calls, no visits. Well, I had one. It was a mother who lost her son months ago. My friends of my son's. And so she and her daughter came. And then I'm all like, I think I'm getting past this, you know, the grieving thing. It was soon after my son died. I thought maybe, you know, okay, go through these steps, and it'll be better. And I'm talking to them, like, it's gonna get better soon, right? Because it's, I was just like trying to trick myself into thinking that and believing that, and so it's not gonna be so bad. And the way she looked at me, it was like, oh shit. Like that moment where you realize that you think you know everything about a subject, and you don't know shit. I just felt the compassion and the sorrow and I just felt everything, and it's that's what I lived in that for a long time, and living through that alone. It's cruel, because I didn't even see my son after he passed away. They called knowing that I was at the beach and driving back home. He's already passed. My ex, they called the coroner right away, or whatever right away, the authorities. And they came right away. So I wasn't even allowed to see my son because I was at the beach and not home. was at the beach a lot too because I was getting stalked and harassed and abused. My house was getting broken into. I'd wake up and have my ex just at the foot of my bed in a dark closet doing something to himself while I'm sleeping, and worse. So the beach was like a refuge and it felt safe. And I met a new guy, so it had that fun element to it. Although it's Arthur, and he was just unlike anybody I've ever met, because since day one, there's no way of even telling or knowing or feeling like, does he even like me? And he would be one who would never ever look at me, and that is so it's really hard on your self-esteem and self-worth. Like, other people, strangers, could be like complimenting me and just noticing me, and women, you grow up with that, but it never really meant anything to me before, that kind of validation. But I was so deprived of it being in that relationship, to where I needed to hear some validation that would contradict his lack of interest. Like, it was really a mind fuck, because he liked porn, and he was a bit too friendly, like with he didn't have a good start. It wasn't like I was staying with them out of love, because it was already like not working for me. And when everything happened with my son, it became I mean, he was there, so I wasn't alone, and I'm grateful to him for that. But for my mental health wise and my self-worth, especially after coming out of such abuse, I still have CPTSD diagnosed, and agoraphobia, severe agoraphobia, and complex grief, or complicated grief. I'm grieving. I don't think I've even, maybe, I believe with tears, we get so many, crying tears. Those are special tears. Like, not crying, but like grieving tears. They're just an all different kind of breed of tears. And to heal, I think you have to cleanse your body with them. And that's walking straight into the pits of despair and sorrow. Well, anyways, back to the candlelight visual. Yeah, when my son passed away, they called the coroner right away. So, but when I came there, which wasn't like 10 hours later, it's like, if anything, no more than 2 hours. I wasn't driving, so I wasn't. Sometimes it's traffic. Sometimes you can get there in good drive an hour, a bad drive a couple hours. So I just give or take. And right when I get there, there was the whole road. Everything was packed with people. My kids weren't talking to me. And this was before the 5150. This is the night my son died. So my ex-husband, whatever he put in my kids' head, my kids, I had four kids, was something really poisoning. Because the way how cold they were to me, and maybe I was wanting sympathy, and when you don't get it, it just makes whatever you don't get, I think it just increases the desire for it. And I wasn't getting any respect. I wasn't getting anything at all. If anything, my son was like mad at me and couldn't stand me and was hating on me because I ended up in that 5150 hole. And I just know alcohol does not agree with grieving me. It does not. Because after that 5150 hold, I drank again another Captain Morgan, and I was on my way to, in the middle of the night, to just go into the water. And that's definitely not me. I get cold. Well, now I'm getting hot, but I get cold easily. Cold is, I have Graves' disease, so I have an intolerance to cold and heat. Like, if I'm in cold, I turn purple and I'm stiff and I can't move. I'm highly sensitive in my emotions, in my everything. My empathy, I'm an empath. Ooh, I got it. If people have really high emotions, that shit rubs off, and if they're upset about something, they can be over it. With me, I'm still broken up over their pain. So if there's somebody that's highly going through something, I gotta spare myself, and it's like I keep my distance for my sanity, for sure. Because it hurts too much. And you would think I would experience more heartbreak like for my girls, but it was my boys. Oh my son Christian, he was highly sensitive too, so he definitely wore his heart on his sleeves. And the one thing that my ex would always say is, he'd always be mad at like Christian, like when we were arguing, like, that little fucker, because he's just like you, like it's something bad. And then later on I realized what he meant, and so I never picked up. I'm slow at processing. So a lot of the obvious stuff I don't really catch on right away. And especially after, like, you know, someone, you lose somebody, you have a profounder. It has a profounder impact with you, like the stuff that you remember, and like the hindsight conversations. And we talked all the time. I used to be so close with my kids. Like, they'd come home from dates and stuff and have to come in my room and just talk about it. And Jasmine was super special because she loved my son as much as I did, but in a different way, but she did. So, like, she was in awe of him, and so was I. And it was really perfect, I think, because, oh shit, oh, my car's dying. What am I gonna do? I don't know nothing about cars. I'm losing power going up a hill, and oh my god, what am I gonna do? I have nobody. What do I do? Oh my god. Oh my god, and I'm on a fucking freeway. Oh my god, and there's nowhere to... Oh my god, I don't know what to do. Is it no... Oh my god. Oh my lord, this is scary. My engine's on, but nothing's... Oh my god. I have no money. That's so scary and it's dark. I don't have nobody. And my dog didn't come home last night. My engine doesn't work. Oh god. Oh, I ran out of gas. Oh my god, remember I'm out of gas. Oh my god. How can I be so... Oh my god, I'm out of gas. And I'm up a hill. I don't know nobody. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, how can I forget? Oh my god. I don't know nobody. Oh my god. I guess I'll call Arthur, but he's like 2 hours away. I'm in Marshall. Turn on my engine. What am I gonna do? God. It's gonna be dark. That's why you need people in your life. This is always my biggest fear. Then they say, people don't stay in your car when it breaks down because, you're like a sitting target. It's better to be outside of your car, hiding in the bushes. Because people, they come and I can't even get a tow. I have no money. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna call Arthur. Oh, this is. God, how can I forget the gas? Okay, I better. Oh, God. Oh, God. My dog didn't come home last night either. Did I lose him? I don't even have boy clothes in my car. I always keep my boy clothes. With tennis shoes. I don't have that. I haven't been driving my car. I don't want to be in heels in the dark on the freeway. Okay. Oh my god. Post this now. Good thing I put water in it, I guess.